Yes, hi, it's Jonathan Bostock here, Birmingham Gems and Your Place, Your Space. I'm here in Victoria Square, surrounded by absolutely wonderful modern and classic architecture. But we're not here for the architecture. We're here to go and see an amazing exhibition that's being held here in Victoria Square called PolliNations. PolliNations is one of 10 groundbreaking projects happening across the UK. All 10 unboxed projects showcase what can be achieved from collaborative working across science, technology, engineering, art and maths. Let's first introduce you to the PolliNations team we'll be meeting today. Angie Bual is Creative Director and CEO of Trigger. Trigger has led on this particular collaboration, one of many projects initiated and supported by the Unplugged programme. Darren Bosworth is Managing Director of Scottscape Groundscape and is a landscaper with a real passion for horticulture. Tamsin Hankey is one of the co-founders of this studio and is an architect with a clear passion for open, green and environmentally friendly spaces. Sash Scott is another co-founder of this studio with extensive experience in the arts, commercial and private residential sectors. Please, who's going to be starting? I know it's a collaboration, so let's go with the creative first.
Yeah, so this whole project has come about because we were really interested to transform this, which is usually a concrete square, into a horticultural wonderland. And we've been bringing participants in over the last weekend, co-planting the space out, and then at the end people can take plants away home with them as well. But the other thing is that we want to celebrate the multiculturalness of Birmingham. So we found out that 80% of plants in a normal British garden are non-native. And that's a great metaphor to show the colour, scent, vibrancy that flowers bring to our gardens and that people and culture bring to the diversity of our communities.
And it's part of an unboxed series of projects. This is one of 10, I believe, yeah, across the UK. I believe you were responsible for bringing the teams together. How difficult was that? Did you already know people were coming together for this?
Yeah, the proposition was really fun. So it was to work with across STEAM, so science, technology, engineering, art, and maths. And so I was already getting interested in horticulture because gardening and my own garden during lockdown. So we brought together some ecologists, this sustainable architectural company, which is Sash and Tamsin, people like Scottscape who have transformed the space. And so we developed the idea over 3 months and then we went into the full commission.
Fantastic. Now, before we come on to the architects, I know you're going to be really into collaboration. Darren, from your point of view, horticulture, landscaping, that's your passion. Absolutely. Tell us about how you came into this collaboration and what it means for you.
Yeah, so we came in, we got an invitation to tender with a general process. It was very extensive, very exciting, very unusual, obviously, we've not been involved with something where you're creating art and landscaping together, so we were quite intrigued and excited to get on board with the project. And yeah, that is our passion. It's basically green in the grey. That's what we need to do. And what Angie and the architects had put together, we had to be part of it. And fortunately, we were. And he's brought so many different teams together to create such a wonderful landscape.
And we heard earlier when we were talking about the collaboration involving community, which is clearly important. We understand that there are individual plants here that have 10, 15 people actually responsible for the collaboration of individual plants.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's been over the last sort of 6 to 12 months, I believe, that local communities were given some boxes of seeds, and they've gone away and started growing their own marigolds, which is absolutely fantastic. And that's from sort of young children and local, as I say, local communities, and they've brought them down, and we've had 3 days of planting from Friday, Saturday and Sunday, and the joy on those people's faces from seeing what they've grown and actually implementing it and putting it in the ground, and it's all part of the education process, and it's been really sort of fulfilling. That's probably been one of the most fulfilling parts of the projects over the last 3 weeks.
And obviously really important that we get this off to developers, to architects, to see what's possible with open green spaces. An architect's perspective, please, Tasman. How did you come together and be involved in this?
So this was Angie invited us with Carl Robertshaw, who's the design director on the project. Actually, Sash and Carl had worked together flying kites in the British World Kite Champions. So we came on board. This is obviously normally just a completely empty concrete space. So we wanted to talk about how forests grow in the wild, that we get this amazing process of what's called forest succession, that really hardy trees plant their roots and start to grow, and then they make a protective barrier for young plants to start growing up on the underlay of the floor. So we were super excited to start talking about that with the forest itself. So that's why we have these huge structures acting as kind of the guardians for the forest and making a protective area for the forest below it.
And over to yourself, what about, the involvement of community? These structures, how did they come about? Who came up with the idea?
Well, the structures was a kind of a collective idea. Like, as a collaborative team, we've been really blessed to have so many people from different backgrounds and disciplines, and we've worked really, really intensely on the identity of the project, and that then manifests these designs for these trees. And I think it's something that as architects we're not usually used to doing as such, and it's been really eye-opening for us to work with people like Trigger, Carl, Bronya, Chris and Toby, and of course Scottscape, to imagine this kind of place that is way beyond our kind of normal day-to-day working as architects. We're quite used to being very specific and designing a building with quite strict parameters, and this is a very fluid, natural space that's kind of come about through all of that interweaving of different disciplines. And then also including community in that, because that is the heart of the project. And I think we try to we talk about community being engaged in building projects a lot in architecture, and for us this is the first time we've actually seen it come to fruition and be a success, because it's quite difficult to get people to contribute physically to a space because they don't feel ownership of it. But the simple act of planting a plant in the ground, people can really engage with it, and I think by doing that, I can already see in the first few days that people are taking ownership of this place and treating it with immense care, and I think that's really fantastic.
And we know on the 18th, when unfortunately you guys are moving on to other things, that all the plants are going to end up in people's homes, in gardens, and there's an opportunity for people to come down. Carrying on that community engagement aspect, what do you see as being the benefits long term of this project? What do you want community to take away? What do you want to see happen as a result of this?
For me, just what can be done, and the awareness of many things, from well-being, the climate action. It's just, the joy on people's faces just walking around is phenomenal. Like, this is a very grey sort of concrete area, and within 3 weeks we've created this, and people, it softens, it brings biodiversity. Look at the bees already just around us, but there has to be a legacy, and you can't. There's no point just doing this and walking away. There has to be a legacy, and the legacy for this is obviously the planting is going to be donated. But where do we go from here? And this hopefully showcases what can be done in cities, and what we're trying to do now is work together with competitors in our industry, with the local councils, with the architects, and it's not about a Scottscape show or an architect show. We have to be one team, and then from that it has to start from schooling, from parenting. That's where it has, because we can only do so much, and it's going to be tomorrow's people who take it and enhance it further. And I speak really passionate about that, because if not, no greenery, no bees, no humans, and you can't put a price on biodiversity and greenery.
I hope that Birmingham appreciates what it's like to have something that's got a bit of wilderness in it in the city, that it's not all about decoration and having something really tidy and neat, but it's saying that greenery is for more than us. It's for animals and creatures and insects, and for ourselves, and sharing it a little bit more. It doesn't have to be super neat and tidy.
This space is not just a green space, but it's also going to be a very cultural space. We're going to have poets from around the world, from the region, music, costume design, and I hope that this brings people from different backgrounds together. This was created because we're in quite a divisive time, and there's so many different cultures that can be celebrated, and it already is bringing in people who might not usually hang out together, and so I hope it creates a feeling of community in this space.
And I hope that this space can encourage people to slow down and relax a little bit and realise that the public realm is for everybody, and it's actually when thought of in a considerate way is actually quite a safe and nurturing space, and is an opportunity to bring people together. I've noticed just being here for a few days that people are slowing down and sitting and relaxing, and even, you know, taking a nap under the trees in the forest bathing, which you would never think of doing in Victoria Square. So I hope with consideration for public space and a kind of enhanced community kind of ownership, we can think about our cities much more differently.
That's brilliant. 2 more questions, please, if I may. Creativity, you know, you're established creatives. You've come together to make this happen. Can you give some advice to not just the young creatives, the elderly creatives? There's a creative in all of us. What's your advice to them?
In terms of it, just give it a go. You know, you only gain success by failing, and I don't think we should be scared of failure. And that, you know, you will fail, and then you'll succeed. And if you've just give anything, just give anything a go. I think this sort of project has shown that so many different aspects of different industries can come together, which you'd never think of, that, you know, art and the creativity and the landscaping, the architects, and, you know, it's been a success because someone's just had an idea and let's go with it.
Collaborate. I think you learn more from working with other people than you would in a vacuum. We've tried things that we wouldn't have otherwise tried. There are things about this project I didn't even know about until we started building it on site, or even now there are things that are happening every day that I didn't know were going to happen. And I think you only get there by listening to other people and seeing what they have to offer to you and what you have to offer to them.
Just that everything you do is creative, from planting a plant in your garden to considering your furniture to how you stack your books to drawing something to what you wear, every little element, and so just take joy in it.
Yeah, I believe actually that we are all creative. There's no such thing as not being creative. As Angie said, it's like there's creativity in everything we do, and I think the ability to sort of start ugly and start messy. Like the very first thing we did on this project was to get together and get out big rolls of paper and loads of felt tip pens and just draw with complete, like almost eyes closed, what this thing could be. And that messy, completely free process has ended up with this. So we all have it in us, I think. It's just about starting.
What about the city? Now, you've had the opportunity to come here. Hopefully you've been able to see a little bit about the city. What do you think about Birmingham? What do you think about its potential as a city of creatives?
Oh, hugely. I mean, I must admit, I've only ever been to Birmingham once prior to the last 3 weeks, but it's beautiful buildings. I mean, look around. You know, there's so much creativity in the buildings from many years ago, and I think there has to be a legacy and matching the old with the new. But one negative is that it is quite grey. We need some more space. You know, you don't have to. If there's no space for trees, then let's wrap some fabric around a lamppost. You know, or let's create. You know, Victoria Square. Let's make this permanent. Why not? You know.
I think the best thing about Birmingham is its people. I think people want to be proud of Birmingham, and we need to give them things to be proud of, and hopefully this is the space that they will be proud of.
My mum's from Birmingham. I've spent a lot of time in Birmingham, and it's such a multicultural, vibrant space. There's so much to be proud of, from the food that you can have to, you know, the diversity in the places that you can go to. And I think, yeah, it's time to be proud of the people here.
Yeah, I mean, Birmingham's multiculturalism that's a hotbed of creativity right there, because we found through collaboration we can create something amazing, and through cross-pollinating cultures and for people talking about their different experiences, that just is opportunity to create something new, whether it's just a discussion or opening someone's eyes or a drawing or making an artwork. There's so much opportunity just when you get somebody else's perspective on something, and there are so many different perspectives on life in this city, and it's wonderful.
And from Birmingham, I'd like to say thank you so much for bringing this to the city. I know, just look at the numbers of people here on a Sunday morning. Absolutely fantastic. And 2 weeks left, yeah? So a lot more to see and a lot more people to actually invite down here. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you. Thank you.